Welcome to This Week in Real Estate with Jonathan Harmon and Bryan Nale, your local experts on all things real estate in Middle Tennessee. Listen in as they discuss the current state of the market, the latest trends, and have a little fun while doing it. We do want to say the opinions voiced on this podcast are for general information only and not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individuals. All right, y'all, we're back with another week of This Week in Real Estate with Jonathan Harmon and Bryan Nale. Pew, 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 pew. Where we're putting the great in a rate update. Sorry.
He's reaching. He's reaching.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'm a little disappointed in that one.
I think it's pretty good. It's pretty
good. Well, I'm even more disappointed that you think it's good.
Not helping the cause here.
Bless his heart.
Great rate update.
Well, Jonathan and I went live yesterday and professed that we were going to start. Well, yeah, we did. The first one was deleted quickly because it didn't do what it was supposed to do.
It was terrible.
And we professed that we were going to start on time at 10, and here we are at 10:22. We have been over here fighting with CSAC over music rights. We have been talking about political discourse, which we're going to refrain from bringing that up in this show because we've got a lot of great stuff to get to when it comes to the real estate market. And this show is called This Week in Real Estate, not This Week in Politics.
We should do a This Week in Real Estate or in politics discourse.
You can start that show if you want to.
Brian will be sitting that one out.
In the great immortal words of, I believe it was Martin Lawrence, can't we all just get along?
Come on, man.
That being said, it is 10:23 and we're getting started a little late. So Trent, take us right over to market movers and headlines.
Yes, sir. Back to you.
You want to bury the lead or go with the Fed meeting?
Huh?
News. Bury the leads when you don't talk about the main story first.
I don't care. What do you want to do first?
Let's talk about the Fed first.
Let's do it.
We talked about that. That's what we said.
Yeah, because I think that leads into my
All right, cool.
Stuff.
So we can segue it.
Yeah.
You can tell we should have spent that 20 minutes show planning, but instead we were talking about
because my blood pressure's up and everything.
All right. So no surprise if you've been on social media at all, if you've opened up your cell phone and gone to your favorite news app, you have seen that the Fed cut interest rates 25 basis points yesterday, 0.25% cut on rates. That is great news for anyone who has a home equity line of credit with an outstanding balance, credit card balances, someone who's planning on buying a car in the next couple weeks. It's great news for people that have that kind of
30-second pause.
Debt.
Real quick, let's reiterate that does not mean that mortgage interest rates are tied directly to that. So they didn't go down necessarily because the Fed cut rates.
Right.
We've talked about this a lot, but I just want everybody to know we're not talking at this bit about mortgage interest rates because that is a separate thing.
Totally.
Okay,
and so that's my point. Like you've got, this is beneficial to someone who has revolving debt, someone who has short-term borrowing needs in the near-term future, whether that's an unsecured loan, car loan, anything like that. Mortgage rates move completely independently of the Fed target funds rate. It's more of a long-term play. So I think short-term benefited from the Fed's action yesterday. Long-term is indifferent in theory. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit. So in theory, the mortgage rates are indifferent to the Fed's decision because you know what? They've baked in the fact that it was pretty well telegraphed that there was going to be a 25 basis point cut.
So they moved
through. That's why I liked a bunch of refinances last week, because mortgage rates based on the employment data, inflation data, stuff like that was coming out, it gave the bond market, a lot of confidence that there was going to be a interest rate cut from the Federal Reserve. So and that's so mortgage rates were leading into that. They were also at the point where they were starting to price in not just the cut yesterday, but multiple cuts throughout the rest of this year.
Kind of like a predictive cut, but also it was based more on the temperature that was delivered and
of the economy.
Well, and from Jerome Powell, right? Like this is the temperature we're taking. We think that this is what's going to happen.
Right.
And
you talk about a couple weeks ago or yesterday,
the actual cuts. Yeah. So we know that there's going to be, we feel like we know that there's going to be further cuts. And so the mortgage rates start, go ahead and react to that.
They're not waiting for the headline. They're trading on the whispers in the wind, right?
Yeah, pick up the grass and throw it in the wind, see which way it blows.
And that's because they can't wait till the news is out and the event has actually happened, because they're trying to hedge, they're trying to make money, and so they have to trade on what they think is going to happen. It's just like going to the casino. You think it's going to land on red, so you put your chips on red. If you think it's going to land on black, you put your chips on black, and so they're betting which way they think the market's going to go. Now, here's where it got really interesting yesterday. There is something called a dot plot. And the dot plot was released at 2 p.m. with the interest rate decision. So the interest rate decision was to cut rates 25 basis points, and the dot plot is where every member of the board says where they think rates will be at the in certain points in the future. And the dot plot, man, the bond market watches that very closely. And a lot
that's
of times,
the temperature.
And a lot of times you'll hear people in the business say, it's not going to be the cut that matters. It's going to be what is said. And when we say that, we're talking about the dot plot, and we're also talking about Jerome Powell's or whoever the Fed chairs, whenever they give their speech, whenever they give their commentary, or hold a press conference after the meeting. So the dot plot comes out at 2, and man, the bond market liked it. Mortgage rates were getting better because we got the 25 basis point cut that was priced in for this meeting. We got the dot plot that looked like we would see more rate cuts throughout the rest of this year. And then at 2:30, Powell takes the stage, and Powell says, paraphrasing here, the dot plot is not set in stone. The dot plot is not policy. We're going to continue to monitor inflation. We're going to continue to monitor employment. We're going to continue to monitor all the same economic factors that we monitor when we make interest rate decisions. So that dot plot's there, that report is there, but it's not set in stone. So, man, that set the bond market in a tailspin. Just him saying that, because it put that shadow of a doubt that, oh man, maybe we've overtraded this. Maybe we've overtraded. So now you have investors who are trying to protect their stop losses and protect their balance sheets. And so you kind of created this little mini sell-off in the bond market, and that caused mortgage rates to go up yesterday afternoon, very late in the day. Today, the market opened up kind of flat. And the weekly jobless claims came out, and it was back to the levels from a couple of weeks ago, and some positive revisions were made to the jobless claims that caused mortgage rates to drop a lot. So that has mortgage rates again trending a little bit higher today. Now, all of this being said, we're still significantly lower in interest rates than we were 2 months ago. And significantly lower than we were.
What, a full point
in interest rates at the turn of the year.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't want the message out of this to be that, oh man, rates were low for a little while, now they're back up. That's not what I'm saying. That's not at all what I'm saying. But what you shouldn't misconstrue is that because the Fed cut rates yesterday, mortgage rates are going to continue to go down. We're in a market now where we're going to be watching, along with all the bond investors, we're going to be watching the jobless claims and the CPI and the PPI to kind of get a sense of where this economy is going.
So I'll provide some color commentary on this. Okay. How I look at this is almost like in football, where you have all these referees, right? And they all throw whatever flag that they think that they should. There's your dot plot. Okay. And they all think and they all feel that
pass interference,
that from now until whatever time frame is on there, that we should see this soft landing that they've been talking about for a couple years now happening. Right. And they feel that way, and they dot plot it out, and they say, this is what it should look like. And this is what we're convinced, me, or what you're convinced, what I'm convinced, what he's convinced, what she's convinced should happen. Plot it out.
Well, and
Okay.
they'll have different. They'll have
they're
their
different,
own opinions.
each one.
Yeah.
But we all feel essentially that trend is the same, right? The exact numbers might be different, whatever, right?
Sometimes it might be. Sometimes it might be scattered all over the board.
Sure, but in this case,
it was pretty well.
It's pretty uniform-ish, right? At least the direction is.
Yeah.
But then it is the chairman's obligation. This is how I see it, to stand up there and say, "Look, this is a pretty uniform." Like this is what he didn't say, but what he said. This is a pretty uniform prediction of what all of these people think is going to happen. But I have to say, I have to throw some caution in there that we are still obligated to monitor these different factors, to look at these things as they happen. This is what we all want to happen. This is what we all optimistically think is going to happen, right? But there's a realism behind that optimism. And if it doesn't, don't shoot the messenger type thing, right? Like we've got an obligation to still do this the right way, even though quite literally everybody in this room thinks that this is what's going to happen.
So why did the bond market respond so negatively to that?
Well, here's exactly why. Because they had to. I mean, so the bond market, like you said, has to take whatever the right now message is and react to that, because they have to hedge their bet. Yeah. Right. So they had to react like that. Not to mention, personal opinion, I'm going away from fact here, they're going to use an opportunity like that to justify changing their mind and to squeeze a little more. It's sort of like when a refinery in wherever, somewhere that's completely unrelated, has an interruption in service, and all of a sudden gas prices nationwide go up
all over the country.
Come on.
Yeah. There's a pipeline in New Orleans that's shut down for 2 weeks. And so we're going to have fuel prices and
go 75 cents up a gallon
in California, all the way to New York. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Right. I believe in capitalism. I am a capitalist. I believe in it, but capitalism is also fueled by a need for profit, and that opens the door to greed. Yeah. And so anytime I can
said, Jonathan, that was very well said.
Anytime I can squeeze a quarter more out of you, like a literal 25-cent piece quarter out of you as a capitalist, I'm going to. Yeah. And so if I can say, well, I know that he said this, but then 2 hours later he said this. Well, what's the most recent news? That one. Yeah. There you go.
That's good stuff. All right. I think we've kind of covered the Federal Reserve. Any questions in the chat, Trent? No, we started too late. That's why there's nobody watching.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Sorry.
Jonathan, you had something else you wanted to get to.
Yeah, and you know what? I had it pulled up and it just now went away. There it is. Okay. So posted on J Harmon Home Team Facebook page yesterday, just a real quick market update. And I thought this was really interesting. So August in Rutherford County, 664 new listings, 414 sales. Okay. So a couple of things, a couple of takeaways from this. Number one, 414 sales in the month of August. August is historically the slowest month of the year, the seasonality of it. January or February depends, are usually second, right? And usually January is when we end up shutting streets down and everything else for a week or so, which makes February slow. Right. So anyway, 414 closings in the month of August. Now, a couple of pieces of information. Number one, and I've mentioned this, and this kind of crosses into that pro tip thing a little bit, but 414 closings in Rutherford County. There's just over 1,200 licensed agents in Rutherford County, just so you know, that have their license affiliated with a brokerage here in the county. Okay. 1,200, it's like 1,223 or something like that. Okay. And it fluctuates every day, but roughly just over 1,200. I had 4 of those 414 closings. Okay. And I know plenty of
10 now.
That's right. And I know several other agents that are high performers that had more than one of those closings. Sure. Okay. And I'm going somewhere with this. I know of at least a few Nashville agents, because I did a deal with one Nashville agent that's license is hung in Nashville, right? That had closings in Rutherford County. Okay. So the 1,200 plus agents that are residing with their license here in Rutherford County didn't have so let's, I'm going to throw this number out there. Let's say 300 of those 414 closings, different people, right?
Yeah.
That means that over 900 agents in Rutherford County did not have a closing last month. Okay. So that's a big deal.
That is a big deal.
That's a big deal. Now, there's all kinds of things that should happen because of that big deal, right? Like maybe there's some people that should retire their license. Sure. Maybe there's some people that should work a little harder. Sure. As a consumer, what I'm telling you though, is desperation breath is real.
Commission breath, man. Run away from it.
It's there. So be very, very, very cautious and discerning with who you engage over the next couple months if you're going to do a real estate transaction.
And that's a buy or a sale.
It doesn't matter.
That cuts both ways.
And listen to what they're saying and ask yourself why they are saying it. So here's a for example. Okay. You're buying a house, you have a buyer's agent, which you should. Okay. And you come into that house, you have a home inspection. Home inspection's middle of the road. It's an older home. Cool. It should be, right? Does your agent say, look, there's some legitimate things wrong with this house. We should ask for those, but you should probably not worry so much about the little like nitpicky stuff. Okay. That's good advice generally, right? Generally, we're totally in a vacuum here in this conversation,
sure.
right? But generally that's good advice. Or do they say, you're getting a good deal on this place. You should probably just take it as is.
Yeah.
Right. Or do they say, ask for everything, right? And then ask yourself, why are they saying these things, right? And
is there any ulterior motive for them? For
yes,
this person?
What do they stand to gain from the advice they're giving me?
Yeah,
right. And are they honest about it? Because I might actually say to someone, look, I don't think you should ask for anything. I do think you're getting a great deal on this place, and you're planning on redoing all the work in this place anyway. So why ask them to fix something that you're going to redo anyway?
Right.
Right.
And I'm glad that you said that, because just because the person says you shouldn't ask for anything doesn't mean that that's bad advice. So not only ask yourself what they have to gain, but ask yourself
where are they coming from?
All right. What's my relationship with this person? What's my level of trust and confidence in their advice? And I think that gets back to, those are the questions you need to ask yourself really before you get into the transaction.
Way before.
Because if your level of trust is there, then hopefully when you get to that specific, in that vacuum, you get to that conversation about the repair negotiation, you're already going to have vetted the trust factor. So you, not to say don't continue to ask questions and continue to poke and prod and make sure that you're getting the right, what you want, because ultimately a realtor in this situation is an advisor and giving you options, right? And it's ultimately your decision if you're going to go back and ask for some repairs or not.
But also, you're not just an advisor, you're an analyzer of the entirety of the situation. Right.
You see things from a broader perspective than,
and hopefully you have the experience to be able to read into what you're seeing. So, has the other party indicated that they're getting skittish about the deal to start with?
Right.
Right. And then my goal is really to ask you the questions, like the pointed questions, to get you to make your best decision. Okay. Mm-hmm. How much do you love this house? Now, that sounds like a lame question, but let's really unpack that question.
It's a good question.
Right? Is this the one? Are you gonna wake up 6 months from now if you don't finish this and wish that you had?
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that, but let's ask some other questions to get to the answer of that question. Right. Yeah. So there's all kinds of stuff, but the biggest thing is be a little wary, be a little cautious, and ask your agent questions, and ask those questions with the purpose of determining whether or not they have your best interest at heart or their own.
Can I tell a story?
Mm-hmm.
So I had a file that came to my desk about a month ago. 2 other lenders had turned this client down. All right. So already I know that this isn't going to be a walk in the park.
Yeah.
They're buying something in the neighborhood of an $850,000 listing in Rutherford County. And it's supposed to close in 3 weeks, and I'm trying to save it. So I'm thinking that, we got some self-employment. Maybe we go bank statement loan. Maybe we try to go through Freddie and use 1 year of tax returns instead of 2. Maybe we get a cosigner. Maybe we get a gift. We try to
throw everything on the table.
So it's all out there. It's all on the table. And we go the direction of knock to try to do a bridge loan. All right. Well, knock turns this deal down because the departing residents, there's too much new construction in that area. So like plan A was the bridge loan with knock. That gets taken off the table. So I'm scrambling. Okay, go back to this. I'm doing all of this work and I am spinning my wheels trying to figure out how to make it happen for these people to get the house. And I come back to them like, all right, knock didn't work, but we got this other bridge loan option. Here's what it looks like. And it's expensive. And they're like, no, we're not going to do it. I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah, this house just isn't, this is just a house. It's not that important. I never asked, how bad do you want this house? How bad do you want this? Or are you okay walking away from this and kind of shoring up some financials and coming back to this in the spring? And they were completely fine with it.
Dude, the house might even still be on the market.
Maybe.
It's possible.
So, and that's where, if as a professional, understand, like I didn't have a long-term relationship with these clients. They had just come to me.
Mm-hmm.
As for all I knew, they were coming to me because I was their third lender. They were really hoping to put it together. So I assumed that this house meant a lot to them, when the reality for these people was this was just a house.
Well, and here's the thing, people evolve through a transaction.
Yeah.
So with that first lender, that might have been their house. They may have dreamed about it. They may have gone home and sort of like when you buy your Powerball ticket and then you spend an hour like daydreaming about they may have done that.
Yeah.
Right. Like all of that might have happened. But as the transaction stretched and they said they heard no a couple of times, they come to peace with no.
Yeah.
And so then they say, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, we're not going to hang all of our happiness on whether or not this deal goes through.
Right.
And so we're going to keep trying because we would like for this to happen. But if it doesn't,
we're okay.
We'll be okay. We were okay before. We're okay now.
We're okay. It's so back to your point. What made me think of that example or that story is the advisors that you work with. Really, you want them to understand what your goals are, and that's a great question. Do you love this? How much do you love this house? It seems like a very canned kind of question, very cliched kind of question, but it can open up the conversation to, well, then if you really love this house, based on what I know from the sellers that they don't have to sell, or maybe they do have to sell, this is how we should approach this repair negotiation. This is how we should approach this
short
potential
appraisal,
hurdle. Yes.
Whatever, right?
Yeah.
Your loan denial, whatever it is.
The transaction doesn't happen when the PSA is signed.
No.
It happens through the whole period of escrow.
That's right. And so a couple more little numbers, 3.76 months of supply in Rutherford County. That's a lot. Average list price, get this, $587,000. Average sale price, $510,000. So I always ask this question, and there's no real way to calculate this necessarily unless I really dive into the numbers. Is that because we're reducing the price by $77,000 on an average listing? Probably not. What it probably means is, and this is why 28 days on the market is the number, is that your lower priced homes are coming on and selling, coming on, selling, coming on, selling, coming on, selling. That drives that average sale price down.
Probably.
So your higher priced homes are sitting longer. That's driving your days on market up just a little bit.
Yeah.
And your average listing price is higher because the low priced homes are coming off the market.
That makes a lot of sense.
But the real story here is 250 homes didn't listed and didn't sell. So we're starting to see inventory start to build up. When we see inventory build up and we see that days on market stretch from 28 to 38 to 48, we see that months of supply go from 3.76 to 4.76 to 5.76. When we start seeing that happen, there's only one logical thing that happens at that point. Prices come down. It's the only thing that can happen. Right? Or days on market just explodes.
There's a collision course here of the market has been tested for 2.5 years at these higher interest rates. I think we can say that because we had rates in the 4s and testing the 5s prior to COVID. So when we say higher rates, we're not talking about since 2020. These 6s and 7s are higher than they had been prior to COVID. So we've had 2.5 years now of testing this market at higher rates, and the market's starting to buckle a little bit. Is it buckling right at the time that the economy gives
and the rates drop
and rates the reason to drop? So, and that collision course could be, it could save home values.
It could. You're right. That's a good point.
It'll be interesting to see how this fall and this winter play out.
That's a very good point. Yeah, could be interesting.
All right, we got a This Is Real.
We do.
Let's do it.
It's a doozy. Up here first. Y'all see that?
Yeah.
Is that the green? Not near the green.
You're go down to that way a little bit further.
Keep going. There you go.
I'm blind.
I like this. This reminds me. All right.
Creepy.
All right. So if World War II movies were, shot in color, and they are now, I mean, but this reminds me of like the basement of a building in Europe. That's, the street surface and everything else is kind of bombed out. And this is the bunker where people are trying to stay safe.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. This isn't the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a creepy basement.
Yeah.
It's there's a sink over there in that corner
with a bucket under it.
The bucket under it.
It does look like there's perhaps some what does Jim Africano call it? Suspicious microbial growth going on, but we don't use the M word. Yeah, I mean it's it's a creepy basement. I could see.
I could totally see like
Silence of the Lambs being filmed in here.
I could see Silence of the Lambs. I could also see putting a Murphy door on that thing and turning it into like a speakeasy, like your own little private bar.
Yeah, I'm with that.
That would be fun.
Right. I don't hate this. I don't think I would have probably put it on the MLS, but I don't hate it.
This has not really happened, but I want to see the rest of the pictures from this listing. I want to see what the rest of this house looks like.
Yeah, I'm with that.
All right, let's move on. What else we got? Pro tip?
I think we kind of covered the
pro tip.
Reiterate the pro tip. Ask questions and listen for the answer, but listen for the motivation behind the answer.
Is there anything seasonal that
oh yeah. We did talk about this. The other thing is, if you're a homeowner, whether you're going to sell or not, right now is the time to start getting ready for winter. Be all over those leaves starting to fall off. We're starting to see some of that. Be all over the sap that's coming off of some of the trees. There's this product called Mold Armor that works really well that you can buy. It's low pressure. It's not a pressure wash thing. You can just spray it on your roof, spray it on your vinyl siding, that kind of thing. So keep stuff clean and try to get ahead of some of that. Get down in your crawl space. If you have a crawl space, just open the door. Yes, it's creepy. Yes, there's probably bugs, whatever. Crawl in there. Take a big whiff. What does it smell like? It should smell like dirt. It should not smell like mold. It should not smell like, human waste. It should not smell like
skunk waste.
Animal waste. It should not smell like any of that. It should smell like dirt, basically, right? And feel in there. Like, pay attention to how it feels. Does it feel super humid in there? If it feels super humid in there, you probably have a problem, right? You've got water coming in. So just kind of pay attention. Use your senses in there. Stick your head up in your attic. Take a flashlight. Shine it across all the roof decking. Is there any stains, that kind of thing? If there's a stain and it looks old, take a picture of it so that next year you can look at it, take a picture again, compare the picture, see if it's grown.
That's great advice.
Look at all those kinds of things. And again, take a whiff, use your senses, right? Pay attention.
It's this time of year, there's not a season where we're not busy as a culture, right? But like right now it's like, oh man, I got UT on at noon and I got I got this. I want to see how Alabama LSU look at 6. Like, there's so many. And then Sunday, you got the Titans, the Panthers.
You don't want to watch the Titans anyway, or the Panthers.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe if they play each other.
You know what I'm saying?
Battle of the Bad.
Trent's a Panthers fan.
I know, that's why I like to pick up.
My point is, and then there's kids sports. There's kids activity. But try to keep a weekend opened. And I think, keep
just 3 hours.
Just keep some time.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and block it. Block out some time in the next few weeks for you to just do that little maintenance on your house. Check your gutters, see if they're clogged up. Because if they're clogged up now and some leaves fall in them and a big rainstorm comes through, you don't want that to happen.
Or in January, it freezes, it backs up in your house.
Dam.
Yeah, exactly.
So just now's a really, really good time. So that's a pro tip for all the homeowners out there.
And if you don't want to do it, hire somebody to do it, but do it. Get it done.
Get it done.
Gotcha. We got a shiny penny. Starter. You're excited about a shiny penny?
Sorry, I didn't realize he was playing the music. I'm so excited, man. We've got a party here at Cedar Glade tomorrow night, and there's all kinds of other shiny pennies and stuff, but I don't know. I woke up this morning, I was pretty pumped about it. So our buddy Rob Jansen and his crew, Stones River Revival, are playing here in the parking lot. They are a lot of fun. We've got, I don't know if I've told you this, the MTSU Band of Blue alumni band is going to play in the parking lot.
Very cool.
So all the old guys are borrowing horns from all over the place and coming out and playing. It's going to be awesome. Codger's food truck. It's
a good one.
It's going to be a blast, y'all. And the weather's going to be nice. So come hang out with us. I would love to have 200 people in our parking lot hanging out, having a good time. Bring a lawn chair. I'm excited. I think it's going to be one of the more fun parties that we've done.
Yeah. Great stuff.
Nice. Well, I think we've already done it. Good show, guys. That's some informative stuff. We did get one comment from Garrett Smith. He said, great info. So shout out to
thanks, Garrett. Appreciate you.
Shout out to Garrett.
Yeah. Love your tobacco.
Really?
Oh, that was Levi Garrett.
That's different. Yeah.
That's a different Garrett. Okay. On that note, we'll be back next week, right?
Actually, don't love the tobacco, by the
way. You don't use tobacco. Next week we'll see you here sometime around 10,
15,
10-ish.
10-ish. Y'all be good. We'll see you on the next one.
Ever tell you about the guy?
Oh, there. Thank you for listening to another episode of This Week in Real Estate with Jonathan Harmon and Bryan Nale, your go-to resource for all things real estate in Middle Tennessee. Be sure to like, share, follow, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star review. We will see y'all on the next one.
Now for the nitty-gritty. Primis Mortgage Company is a subsidiary of Primis Bank, a member FDIC. Primis Mortgage NMLS number 1894879, BK number 1042893, ML number 1894879. As always, all loans are subject to credit approval and product guidelines. Equal housing lender.